After several years of designing the national Christmas tree, Al Hart of GE Lighting lit some other famous Washington, D.C. trees. In 1966, he created a lighting system for the National Cherry Blossom Festival.
Al Hart was in charge of that, and he had asked me to help him. And we had practiced at Nela Park in coming up with a way to light those trees that would show off the cherry blossoms in full effectiveness. Previously, um, when the cherry blossom season occurred, and of course in Washington by the Park Service and others who were involved with those trees wanted to draw people in, and there was no trouble at all doing that. There were crowds there day and night. But the lighting, there wasn't any lighting really. It was street lights nearby. That was the best it got. But these trees were all around the reflecting ponds and the pools, the water in the DC area. And so you couldn't see the blossoms. So what they did for many years was they invited the Army to bring down their searchlights and position them around. And of course, these beams would be waving and get blasted in the eye with a searchlight beam. And yeah, it would show you the lights for a second, and then it would go on to something else. So it wasn't a very effective way. And so Al approached the Park Service and said, we could come up with a way to light these trees and, put the lights in, and then you'll have something to really draw tourists. And they said, okay, give us a demo. So one year we decided to do a demo. And Al came up with this unique way of lighting the trees, and he had the products built in our machine shop, but he practiced on a blossoming tree at Nela Park. And this tree was just about the right size and height, and it came into bloom earlier, so we had good practice with it. But his idea was to take a very thin shaft, a very pipe-like, paint it black, run it up through the trunk, by the trunk of the tree. It could be fastened to the trunk of the tree, and then put some lights on the top of that shaft that would illuminate the ball of the tree blossoms. And these could be adjustable par lamps and adjustable fixtures. So it's a very simple idea. And so he built, I don't know, a dozen or so of these, 16 perhaps, and he had the machine shop build them. He stuffed them into the back of his car, and we went to DC. And the Park Service installed them for us and wired them up. So we got electricity out. And then we found out that they were wired to the streetlights, so they wouldn't come on until the streetlights came on. So we were standing there. It was getting darker and darker, and we wanted the streetlights to come on. And we understood the Secretary of the Interior was going to come and look at these and talk to us about it. Well, finally, these things came on, and of course, there was people all over the place. They're oohing and eyeing as these trees burst into a blaze, and they were just gorgeous. And sure enough, the Department of the Interior came and congratulated us. It was one of Al's best. He actually came off as a real hero for that, and he showed them how to light that whole cherry blossom festival with a wonderful new lighting system that really showed off the blossoms. They never did install that lighting, but that one year we had a glorious cherry tree blossom display.